Time for a life update, y'all. It's been a minute since I've actually sat down and gone through everything that's going on. I feel like there is just so much happening so rapidly. And for me to take the time to share with a large group of you that haven't gotten like a firm update and those that care, I think this is now the space to do so. So, yeah, oh man, I kind of want to bring it back to a certain date in mind that is memorable for me. And let's call that my birthday of last year. This is also the last time I posted a newsletter to a really, I think, solid, great group of people. Some are family friends, some are just people I met along the way. Some people have just watched a lot of my earlier content. I haven't been engaged with them at all via written form. And so I wanted to make this video and then write about what I talk about in this video and make it into a newsletter. So yeah, I think starting from October 29th, 2024, and going from there, I think it'd be great. So yeah, actually prior to October 29th, a lot of you may know who watched or listened to or read a lot of my newsletters in the past podcasts. You know that ever since I moved to Austin early 2024, my life has just dramatically, dramatically shifted, and I would say evolved and in the right direction. Right after moving to the city where I didn't know anyone, didn't know anything, and just randomly picking a spot on the map and decided to move there, these events just happened that felt just all perfect, felt divine. It felt like these unique synchronicities that normally wouldn't happen to the average person taking this big of risks or signing up for these type of big changes. Yeah, and of course, the first huge one being is, a few weeks into moving to Austin, I met Elle, my future wife, the love of my life, the person that I will be spending the rest of my life with. And that has, dramatically changed my life more than anything else that's ever happened to me. And a lot has just shifted from that. A few weeks later, I went to a retreat and did a few other things of a friend of Elle's, and had some experiences there and met a few guys there. And then from there, off of those experiences, turned that into like a legit coaching business, and then started tweeting and writing and posting more videos online, was getting some traction there. And basically that turned into a legit full-fledged coaching business where I charge people one-on-one for my time. And yeah, oftentimes it's all about personal development and guidance in that area. I think a lot of people right now have gotten to the point in life where they kind of have everything situated. Everything's pretty good. They're not still playing that game of catch up. They're not still in survival mode like many people in the world are. That's not really my audience. Many others they notice life is good, but they also know something is missing. And they want to take their life from life is good to life is great. And oftentimes you can just kind of feel if someone else has already made the transition. And those that have made the transition, those that haven't yet are magnetized to those that have. And so naturally, without me really having to do any advertising or marketing, me just like sharing my life more publicly, a lot of people have come in to be closer to me. And so that formed a legit business. And thankfully, just as things were moving with that, and then as my relationship just gotten more and more serious with Elle, we knew, a weekend that we're going to be with each other for the rest of our lives. So it was pretty serious immediately. But as opportunities presented themselves, we decided to buy a house all of a sudden, and that turned into the best decision of our lives. Also, like having such a grounded place, having a place that we're going to build into for the next at least handful of years, if not decades, that we really enjoy, that feels like our space. Oh my gosh, it has been the biggest blessing, truly. If you're watching this right now, you are seeing this in a very professional studio. We built this studio a handful of months ago. This thing is incredible. You're only seeing one version of it. It's like a third of it, but we have pretty much an entire living room, an extra room in our house that was a loft area. We converted it into like a legit studio, and we have professional cameras, professional microphones. We realized that we're taking this to the next level. And one thing we realized that we really enjoy doing, and something that is great for us, is as I'm telling the story, as the coaching business is starting to take off, as we bought a house, around the same time, actually on the same date that we bought this house, another quote unquote big risk, Elle quit her job. She's working at Meta at Facebook for, I think, 7 years. And that went from, of course, being a very high paying, very respectable job to taking a leap and her herself becoming an entrepreneur and doing something very similar to what I'm doing now. And when she made that shift, it was a big shift for us, but it was just perfect timing for her. And ever since then, we have just been on this absolute roll of creating communities in person and online, creating offers, creating podcasts that we just come on, we speak. Some are geared towards certain topics. Like we have one that we started, I don't know when, I think it was last August, called Listen Before Love, maybe last September. And yeah, I think we're on episode like 34. I'll be launching this week. But we've gained a really cool following of people that just want to hear about what it's like for a couple as they begin to just advance in their lives. We talk about the trials, tribulations. We talk about literally all the mistakes you've ever made in this relationship, past relationship. We talk about what we've learned about human nature as a whole, how we can lead to finding your dream person, becoming the person capable of finding your dream person, and how to keep a relationship once it's there. And it has just been so amazing and such a blessing to be able to create that with her. And then on top of that, you know, I feel like I'm trying to organize everything in my mind, but it feels like a lot at this moment because we have a lot going on. But so the podcast has been fantastic and something we've been very grateful to have. And we've thankfully grown a really good audience, a really intimate audience that really supports us and is looking to help us or to be helped more in whatever way we so please, whatever way we think is best for them. That's been amazing. And then on top of that, you know, before Elle and I even met, she was hosting this in-person community every week called the Boardwalks, the walks here in Austin. And before she knew me, that was already expanded to San Francisco. And now it's been quite a process, but we're now expanding that to at least probably a dozen cities in the next month or two, and then potentially 40, 50, 100 very soon, potentially by the end of the year. So that's been going very, very fast. And this is just another place that happens every Saturday at 8 a.m. in now multiple cities. But starting here in Austin is just a place for like-minded, open-hearted people just to have great conversations. We've noticed that a lot of people of all ages, of all backgrounds, feel like they're in these energy deserts. And we've realized through that our content, through our community events, like the free one, like the walks, and many of those that we have, we are closing that divide, and we're making people that are aligned and like-minded and open-hearted all be able to be magnetized towards each other. And then from there, incredible things have prospered from that. I mean, incredible friendships, business relationships, romantic relationships, everything in between, everything under the sun when it comes to human connection has kind of formed because of these communities. So we have, you know, the podcast just talked about Listen Before Love. We have the Boardwalk, which is the in-person free event that we have. We have this thing called Great Morning for almost a year. Started August last time. I think a few of you that have been subscribed to my newsletter for a while have maybe heard of me talk about it before I kind of stopped sending newsletters. That was a gratitude call that happened every day, 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, that anyone around the world can hop on absolutely for free and connect with other people, like-minded, open-hearted, and just go through a sequence of events that Elle and I have cultivated over the past year or so, that when done, like just gratitude, say affirmations of things you want to become more of that day, and also accountability for that day. What high vibe habit do you want to have that day that would make your life better, make your life feel more livable and more vibrant? We had this routine, this sequence that a lot of people really enjoyed. So people from all around the world, from Africa, Asia, all over North America, Europe, would come together and just for half an hour every single day be partnered with a few other people and go through that kind of routine. And from there, incredible, I mean, probably lifelong lasting friendships were created and dramatically changed people's lives when it comes to their overall happiness and fulfillment. And so that was just, it was really cool and really beautiful to have that. So we had the free events of the walks every week that we're expanding right now. We had great morning every weekday. And due to a few things I'll share with you that has kind of evolved into a new thing. And then, yeah, not that long after that, earlier this year, we created something called True Brotherhood, which was pretty much the online version of what I've been doing in person for the past, I guess, few years now. When I did in Bali with men's circles, and then here in Austin with men's circles, I created a legit online paid community, about $55 a month, where men from all over the world have a sequence of different things they can do to improve themselves. So we have, for a while it was once a week. I've now shifted it because my time has become a lot more valuable to once a month. Having other men now do it once a week, to where we just hop on and talk about how life is going. And them having that space to do so has really allowed so many of them to feel like they're not alone in this game, feel like they're not alone in life anymore. And so intermingling that, those sessions that we have once a week, roughly, sometimes we should switch it up depending on the demand. We have now basketball happening here in Austin, where if you're in True Brotherhood, you can come play basketball with us on the weekends. We're going to have other fitness activities going on. Getting men moving together, getting men to have fun together, getting men to play again has been huge, and just naturally just great connections and brotherhoods join from that. So we have True Brotherhood. We have Elle's that was called True Love Club. She's now switching it to Elevate. The same thing pretty much for women, which is just incredible. It's whatever we're interested in, having fun, playing sports, talking about business, talking about life, traveling, whatever it is. We have created communities to attract other people that like that and want to know other people that have the same interests. And those have just been amazing, amazing. Yeah, all that being said, so that all happened. And then I'll kind of switch to personal life right now. There's a lot more business and what we're doing for that. But personal life, it's definitely been, number one, the best time of my life, 100%. It has been amazing. But yeah, and I think I've talked about this in past newsletters quite a bit, and tweets and other things that you may have seen this content from. But I've also really been able to cultivate over the past handful of years spiritual gifts. And I put this into this episode because it feels very important, because it is a huge part of my life. It dictates a lot of what I do. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now in which are having people begin to look at the human experience differently. It's a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos, and things that have been purposely hidden from us for a very long time are now becoming more and more accepted, and people are more ready to hear about them. And one of those things are the incredible gifts, skills, talents that many humans have that for so long have been shunned, for so long have been either we've been told they don't exist, or the ones that we have told can exist among some people have been deeply demonized. And so that has been thankfully shifting over the past few years, past a few hundred years, if you think about the grand scheme of things, where now it's in the point where people are starting to become more open to the idea that they are much more capable and more powerful than they can ever imagine. And so basically what I say about spiritual gifts, I've been able to see things, feel things, hear things that supersede the five senses that we have. So our ability to see, to smell, to touch, to hear, to taste, whatever it is, that's not the full length of the human experience and what we're able to observe. These are gifts that started, and I don't want to get into the whole thing. I've made other videos about this. I'll make more videos in the future about this. And especially if you have any type of inclination to potentially have these gifts that I do, many of you will, many of you have, and how to cultivate them. I'll have a complete different thing for that. But basically I realized that I'm psychic, and I have the ability to see things that go beyond the five senses. And there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to be seen, a lot to be discovered, a lot to be observed. And it has been a wild journey beginning to understand that. It felt like my body as a whole, I guess my entire beingness has gone through a very stark transition where imagine pretty much having another growth spurt. Like the same one we had during our teenage years, I feel like I'm having now, going from the average person to beginning to adopt these abilities that make me legit feel superhuman. And I say this not as if I'm special and I'm the chosen one, or I'm not at all. Everything that I am experiencing and going through is something that more than likely you are also capable of. And for so long, we have not been able to experience these things. We're not able to understand these things. But when you unplug from a lot of what is going on, about the stories we're being told, what we're being fed, everything under the sun. I don't want to describe exactly what the Matrix is and what's going on at this moment, but there's a lot about the human experience that we've yet to uncover, or that we have uncovered millennia ago, but that has been hidden for quite a while, that is coming back online. Anyways, my body and mind feels like it's going through another transition. And that, man, I'm glad I'm saying this now, because this is one of the better ways I've been able to describe this, because it's been a lot. It's been a lot. But we are very, very capable of so much more than we never imagined. And there's times where, as my body kind of transitions, just like as you could imagine a growth spurt, I've needed much more sleep. There's been times where my energy has gone from being super like 110% go, and the next day I need to pretty much hibernate the entire day. I can barely leave the bed. There's been times where, I just noticed that I really, more than the average person, need to really be careful of what I consume, in terms of course, media, in terms of the people I'm around, in terms of food, just the highest quality of everything, pretty much. There's no tolerance for pretty much anything else. And this may sound a bit extreme for some listening to this, and that's completely okay. I'm not expecting anyone to understand, but the few of you that have had somewhat similar experiences will know immediately what I'm saying and what I'm going through. But it's been a lot, to say the least, and it's been a big transition for me. And it's also been a lot for me to understand that, how can I say this? We are entering a new wave of civilization, of humanity, where so much of what we've thought about the human experience over the past few thousand years is dramatically changing. And I am not necessarily the leader of this new wave, but I am one of the many leaders that are going to emerge from my generation, past generations, future generations, that will begin to completely reshape how humanity functions. I mean, this is in terms of the financial system, the government, I guess politics as a whole, especially how we treat the environment, becoming more one with nature, how we fuel ourselves in terms of food, in terms of water, in terms of light, in terms of many other ways that we are not even coherent of at this moment. We can't fathom this moment. There is so much that is happening right now that Earth is transitioning to, that is for the best of humanity, that is allowing us to become more human than ever before, and to remove ourselves from this existence of work a 9 to 5, live to 80 years, most of us very insecure, miserable, depressed. The body is always failing us, if that's what we want to call it. We're moving out of that era into something much bigger. And I'm being prepped to be one of the people to help lead that new way. Myself, hundreds, thousands, millions of other people all over the world that are going to begin to shift this world into something that is that's quite incredible. So, yeah. I wasn't expecting on going there, but I feel like that's a good place for me to pause in that aspect of life. But as a whole, because of those things, because of what's happening, as everyone can kind of feel it's a transitionary period, Elle and myself, Elle is very similar to myself when it comes to many of these aspects. We're similar and different, but we're definitely together in pretty much everything. Our lives have gotten really, really busy and really, really big. And even though it's not chaotic, we live very simply, and we thankfully now have legit a team of people to help us. It's going fast, really, really fast. So at this moment, we have now um, pretty much half a dozen people that work with us in the media side for the podcast that we now run, for the communities, everything between, that are legit employees, some independent contractors, and we have a team of people that handle everything for us as we begin to build businesses, build worldwide communities. That sounds so wild to say. But yeah, that's, we expand media, which is of course one of the most effective ways to communicate with people nowadays. We've somehow, I mean, I went from being a solopreneur at 25 years old, to now being like a legit business owner with half a dozen people from all over the world that are incredibly competent, incredibly just amazing, amazing people that have seen something and felt something when they watch our content, or felt something when they've met us and they're like, I need to work with these people. I need to help their mission. And we've just been able to attract an incredible team to help make everything we do happen. And yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of learning lessons. Also, we're still human. We're still business owners. That means we've had to hire people and fire people. We've had to, our communities, we've had to remove a lot of people from the walks, remove a lot of people from other things. And there's a lot of still the human side of all this, of someone who's really trying to revolutionize human connection. There's a lot of that stuff that could take up a lot of our time and energy. But we're getting to the point where we're beginning to have to remove ourselves from public access. And I've always known this was kind of inevitable. I'd never thought it would happen at this time in my life, especially because we don't yet have like millions of people watching us or all the things going on. But it's gotten to the point with the walks that we've hosted every single week, being in person, or the Great Morning Call, just a few of the things that we do. We've noticed that because of the content we've put out online that describes our life, describes what we're going through, gets them in the weeds of things, of the good, the bad, the ugly, the lessons we've learned, we've been able to build a fan base of people that are incredible and amazing. We've also realized that as community hosts, community creators, there's a problem that takes place where people come to talk to you and not for the community event itself. And so something like the walks that we have, which has just been incredible, 2.5 hours, 5 miles every Saturday for years for Elle, past a year and a half for me, ever since I've known her. People are now coming to talk to us, especially Elle, as opposed to enjoy the walk experience. And there's very difference between a fan and a community member. They act very differently. And the fan oftentimes isn't as happy if you don't want to give them one-on-one access or help them solve their own life problems, because we've shown on camera we can solve many things for many others. So that's been odd. Long story short, a lot of what we've done, access to people, we've decided it's time to step back and take that away. There's been a few things, I don't want to get in all the weeds of it, but there's been a few things where people are angry and they're mad when we don't give them the time they feel as if they're entitled to. And then they make the experiences that we give to uplift humanity, they make those things worse. And so we can't have any of that anymore. And so it's kind of perfect timing, because now it's time for us to really scale and then work in the business and be in the community. It's time to work on it and focus our energy building and scaling it in a way where we can have other people take our place as the temporary hosts in person, and then have dozens of those around the world to facilitate the same impact, the same connection for other than just a few hundred people or a few thousand people, potentially tens of thousands, 100,000, millions of people. This is something that's deeply, deeply needed right now, as so much of our world is dramatically changing, including the fall of all major religion, the fall of regimes, to say the least, if you want to put it that way. There's a lot going on, and we need people to remember that there is faith in humanity, that there's hope, that not only there's hope, but there's many, many reasons to be optimistic. And we do so by completely reinventing how we have human connection, where it's less about a transaction or a networking event. It's more about deeply understanding and knowing other people and caring for them and being able to trust them. And so we're now having to, just from a solving a problem of solutioning for impact, we're having to do more higher leverage things over time. And so that's been a unique transition where I knew, like, of course, I'd probably gain some momentum, gain some popularity in my life. I wasn't expecting to happen this young. I need to remove myself from the walk I do every Saturday. But long story short, things are moving very, very fast, very fast. And we're getting a lot more traction on our podcasts, on life as a whole. We're getting our team members together. We're training them to make sure we can make more videos like this, make more writing, do all these other things to the maximum to get people who are on the same wavelength and want what's best for themselves, want what's best for the world, and want tangible, practical things they can do to immerse themselves in a world they love, and soon buy digital courses, have online cohorts or communities, some paid, some are very inexpensive and affordable and cheap, and some are very high, very, very high level, very expensive, that, you know, get our one-on-one time whenever it may be. We're taking our ability to coach, our ability to lead communities, and expand that in a way that is accessible to all people from all different backgrounds all over the world, no matter your socioeconomic status, no matter anything. So that's just been a huge, huge thing for us to understand, that our lifestyle must change to be able to scale to that level. So that's been going on. Becoming a legit business owner. It's been going on. It's been unique. That's been wild. And also just trying to, like, remember, as I explained some things a few minutes ago, it may sound like there's a lot of gravity to what I'm saying. It's a big deal. We're doing those things, and it is, but also it's very easy, and it has been in the past for me, to lose touch with remembering that I'm freaking 25 and I'm here to play and have fun and enjoy this life to the utmost extent that I can. And so a big transition for me recently is just make sure I prioritize doing what I love, playing basketball, playing some video games, just hanging out, watching movies with Elle, eating popcorn, doing our thing. More of that, more taking naps if I want to, just going around and go for a walk, listen to music, hanging out with friends, whatever it may be. It's been a big transition in my life where I felt as if I needed to do some things for a certain, the business, the scaling, all those other things, which has been great and necessary. But now it's time to still have those things, but also include the play side of it too, and the enjoyment side of it too, because I've had these seasons where I just feel very burnt out, and very feel very just kind of dreading the day. And so that's not something that I want to do, or that's not the energy I want to give off. And so now feels like a transition in my life where, because of the team we have, because of everything else in place, I can really just be and have fun and be able to do all the things you want to do online here, while also, when I'm not doing this, I can be just having fun playing and enjoying my life. And that's just been an incredible, incredible transition. One thing I forgot to add that happened right after my birthday last year in mid-November, we hosted a retreat. So we had a bunch of the guys that had followed my content for a while. I had one of my good friends, Jack Moses, and we hosted a retreat, and that went incredibly well. Just like 4 days. We had people that were, I think I was the youngest actually, being 25, and the oldest was probably 50, something like that. So like a dozen guys. We just had a lot of talks about personal development, about business, about spirituality, about consciousness, about everything. We had my good friend Justin, who's a personal trainer, come through, and we had like group workouts. We just had time just to chill by the pool, play basketball, just have fun. Just like rented a huge mansion in, the suburbs of, not suburbs, but rural part of Austin, and Um, just really enjoyed that, which was an incredible week. They all had some pretty transformational experiences, and that was amazing. So done that already. And then ever since then, it's just been getting everything situated with media, with expanding. Just hired a general manager to kind of take place of everything and allow for Elle and I just to focus on returning back to this fully and doing this the highest level we can of just being on camera, creating, connecting, um, and having other people take more attention towards the business end and the managing the day-to-day admin work type thing. So it's all been big. It's all been enjoyable, but there's just been a lot that's happened, and we're doing our best to just enjoy it. To yeah, just realize it truly is like a gift and a blessing. And I think going forward in a lot of these videos and newsletters, I'm going to talk about the philosophies that I've kind of created after looking at how business is currently done, how life is currently done for so many, and putting my own spin on it, my own twist on it. I have a feeling that a lot of the businesses are going to take the same route when it comes to caring more about the shareholders and net profits, and focusing more to stakeholders and the overall human experience that your clients are having, that your team members are having, and everything in between. We have so much that we want to completely reshape, and it really feels like we're given everything we possibly can or want or need to do so. Yeah, and again, this is me saying this from a place that a few years ago I was never religious, never spiritual at all. And life just kind of presents you with the experiences you're meant to have to get you to understand what you're meant to understand. But there's something divine about what's going on that I can't even put into words, but it's something amazing. We're being guided to help create these businesses and to create the impact that we're creating at this moment. And it's quite beautiful. And in other videos, I'll definitely go a lot more in depth on that. But we're not alone in this. It feels like divinely guided and protected. Life just is amazing. Just is. And yeah, I'm making this video not only for a life update as a whole, but to plug this into a newsletter that is the same newsletter sequence I haven't since my last birthday. And yeah, I just want to give you guys a summary of kind of everything that's going on. And I'll go more in depth in future weeks. I plan on being a lot more consistent with that now that I have a teams in place to really help me out. But life is good. I'm good. Things are good. Things are things are really, really good. And yeah, I'll go ahead and just link everything below that I'm doing at this moment. If any of y'all feel like you want to be a part of it, want to support, want to help, want to be a client, want to be a community member, the walks are probably coming to a city near you very soon. If you want to watch Listen Before Love that we have going on, I have Question Everything, my own guest podcast that I did years ago back in Bali. I've restarted that and put a lot of time, effort, and made it professional. So I'm excited to continue building that. But yeah, just there's so much going on. And thankfully, a lot of it is something that you guys can take a part of if you so please. If you feel as if you're ready to step in a new chapter of life and be happier, healthier, wealthier, be more fulfilled, and connect with other like-minded, open-hearted people. We're relentlessly building everything we can to make that happen for as many people as possible. So yeah, it's all unfolding perfectly. And just immensely grateful for so many of you that have been supporting me since the very beginning. And just, I can't wait to see where things go. So thank you. I love you all. And I'll see you soon. Peace.